Before financial overflow appears in your hands, it must first be born in your spirit. Prosperity begins not in the bank account, but in the heart that believes. When you carry a divine vision of abundance, you invite heaven's resources into motion. The spirit must first conceive what the natural world will later manifest. You cannot expect to live in overflow if your inner world is still shaped by limitation. Everything God does begins with a vision planted deep within. Faith gives birth to that vision, and persistence nurtures it until it becomes visible reality. When you close your eyes and see yourself living in divine supply, when you imagine your hands full, your needs met, and your heart overflowing with generosity, you are not daydreaming. You are building the framework for your future blessing. Faith has always been the invisible bridge between promise and possession. The moment you begin to believe, the atmosphere around you starts to shift. You may not see it immediately, but something begins to move in the unseen. The heavens respond to those who dare to dream with faith. Many people wait for signs before they believe, but those who walk by faith see the signs follow them. Your thoughts and your expectations create the language that heaven understands. When your mind aligns with divine truth, your circumstances cannot resist transformation. Every great move of God in your life will begin with a seed of imagination. That image, formed in prayer and faith, becomes the blueprint for the future. God works through vision, not confusion. He cannot fill a heart that has no expectation. If your spirit carries a picture of insufficiency, that is what will reproduce in your life. But if you carry a vision of abundance, that image will begin to draw resources, opportunities, and favor. The spiritual law is simple. You reproduce what you consistently see and believe, so guard your inner picture. When discouragement comes, when the evidence looks empty, hold on to the vision within. Don't let temporary lack steal your permanent promise. The world may not see what you see, but faith is not for them, it is for you. Speak it daily, imagine it often, and believe it fully. Every time you pray, thank God for what you have not yet seen as though it were already done. The more you believe in the overflow within, the sooner you will touch it without. God moves through the heart that has already accepted the miracle as reality. The overflow begins not when the money comes, not when the opportunity appears, but the moment your spirit dares to say, "It is already mine." Your words are not ordinary sounds. They are spiritual instruments that shape your reality. Every time you speak, you release energy into the atmosphere, and that energy begins to build the world you live in. When you speak faith, you create an environment where miracles can grow. When you speak fear or lack, you close the door to divine possibilities. The power of life and death truly rests in the tongue. What you say in private moments, doubt will echo in the results you see in public. Many people pray for breakthrough but speak words that cancel their own prayers. They declare faith on Sunday and defeat on Monday, not realizing that the tongue can either plant the seed of blessing or uproot it before it has time to grow. When you say, "I can't make it," you are not just expressing emotion. You are setting a spiritual limitation. Heaven cannot multiply what you curse with your own mouth. The moment you begin to say, "I will rise, I will prosper, I will see overflow," you authorize the forces of heaven to align with your confession. Faith must be spoken before it can be seen. Even when your eyes cannot find evidence, your mouth must keep declaring what your spirit knows is true. The language of faith sounds foolish to those who walk by sight, but it is the very sound that moves heaven into action. In the midst of struggle, when bills pile up, when opportunities seem closed, resist the temptation to speak fear. Say what God has promised, not what your circumstances whisper. Declare abundance, speak promotion, confess increase, even when the ground looks barren. The walls of limitation begin to crumble the moment your voice refuses to agree with lack. Your words are a seed. Every declaration plants something in your future. Speak life over your finances, over your work, over your destiny, and you will begin to see the fruit of your faith appear in due time. There is a creative force that moves when you open your mouth in belief. God spoke the world into existence, and you carry that same creative nature within you. You cannot stay silent and expect transformation. Faith must have a voice, and that voice must be consistent. Don't let negative reports or people who doubt your dream change your confession. Keep speaking until your reality bends to your declaration. The world around you is waiting for your command. Every word you speak in faith builds a bridge toward your promise. Stop saying, "It's too late." Stop saying, "It's too hard." Begin to say, "I am walking in divine overflow." Begin to say, "God is surprising me with blessings." Your future is waiting to hear what you believe, and once your voice agrees with your vision, nothing can stop the manifestation that heaven has already prepared for you. There are moments in life when everything seems quiet, when prayers feel unanswered and progress feels invisible. It is in those hidden seasons that God does his deepest work. What looks like stillness is actually divine construction. Behind the silence, heaven is arranging details that your eyes cannot yet see. The delay you feel is not rejection, it is preparation. God hides you to heal you, shapes you in private to reveal you in power. Many people become discouraged in this stage because they mistake silence for absence. But the truth is that every great blessing is prepared in secret before it is shown in the light. The seed spends its time buried before it breaks through the soil. In the same way, your financial overflow is being formed in hidden places while your faith is being tested in the waiting. When nothing seems to move, you are being refined. You are being trained to handle the weight of what is coming. Overflow requires maturity, discipline, and wisdom, and God will not release what will destroy you. He first prepares your character to carry your calling. During your hidden season, he teaches you to trust him more than your circumstances, to depend on his word more than your emotions. Every prayer, every act of obedience, every tear sown in that unseen place is watering the future that will soon manifest. The process may feel long, but divine timing never fails. When your preparation meets his purpose, doors that once refused to open will swing wide without effort. Hidden seasons are sacred because they separate the true believers from those who only walk by sight. It is easy to praise when blessings are visible, but it takes deep faith to rejoice in the dark. Yet this is where spiritual muscle is built, where faith becomes unshakable. You may not understand the delay, but one day you will thank God for it. You will realize that the waiting built endurance, the silence sharpened your hearing, and the lack made room for greater gratitude. God never wastes a season. Every quiet moment has a reason, every pause has a purpose, and every hidden place is filled with unseen activity from heaven. When the appointed time comes, what was hidden will suddenly be revealed. God will surprise you with blessings that seem to come overnight, but in truth, they were being prepared for years. What took time to grow will last longer when it comes. Do not despise small beginnings or silent seasons. They are proof that something divine is in motion. Stay faithful when no one is watching. Stay thankful when nothing is changing. And stay expectant even when everything looks uncertain. The hidden season is not the end of your story. It is the birthplace of your miracle. Soon the silence will break, and the same God who hid you for a purpose will reveal you for his glory. And your overflow will testify that the waiting was never in vain. Obedience is the invisible bridge that connects promise to provision. Every act of obedience releases a chain of divine reactions that move resources toward your life. Many people pray for financial overflow but ignore the instructions that lead to it. God never sends abundance without direction. He calls you to take a step, to trust Him beyond logic, to move even when you do not see the full picture. It is often in those small, uncomfortable acts of obedience that your greatest blessings are hidden. When you obey even when it costs you, you show heaven that you are ready for increase. Obedience is not about control, it is about alignment. When you align your actions with divine purpose, the flow of heaven's provision begins to find you. There are moments when obedience will not make sense. You will feel led to give when you want to keep, to speak when you want to stay silent, to move forward when everything tells you to wait. Those are the moments when faith becomes real. Logic may say it is risky, but faith says it is right. Every time you obey, you plant a seed that heaven will not forget. God honors those who trust His voice more than their own understanding. The blessings that follow obedience often come disguised as opportunities, connections, or sudden ideas. What looks like a simple step is often the key that unlocks a door you did not know existed. Obedience also protects you. Sometimes God tells you to stay away from certain people, places, or decisions because He sees what you cannot. He redirects you not to punish you but to preserve you for something greater. When you ignore His instruction, you delay your own breakthrough. But when you yield, when you choose His will over your comfort, the blessings begin to chase you down. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time because obedience always positions you for divine timing. Provision is not something you have to force. It flows naturally when you are walking in step with God's direction. Your financial overflow may not come from the source you expect. It may not arrive through the people you planned or the job you imagined. God often hides abundance behind acts of obedience. The widow who obeyed the prophet and poured her last oil witnessed multiplication she could never have planned. Fisherman who cast his net at an inconvenient moment caught more than he could carry. These are not stories of luck. They are testimonies of obedience. What God did for them, He can do for you when you follow His voice. Every instruction carries the seed of a miracle. When you move in obedience, the heavens respond with increase. When you obey, you open the door for financial overflow to locate you. You do not have to chase blessings. They are already on their way to meet those who walk faithfully in divine instruction.